Here we are with our two drivers, Tony Big Worm Smith and Artis Houston. And before we get into the cars and everything, first we all need to know where Big Worm came from.
Actually came from a dumb movie called The Stone Age.
Okay.
It was about a bunch of guys that party down in the South Bay where I'm from. One of my buddies, actually his dad builds my race motors. So they needed a name for me. That's where it came from.
Big Worm. So Artis, you have known this guy forever, and you have a lot of connection going back and forth. So tell me how long you've known him and how'd you first meet him?
Me and Worm, Tony, Anthony, whichever name you want to call him, we go back a good 15 years. Kind of like one of those years you're always at the street races hanging out and people just gravitate to each other just based on personality. You know, Worm has a Ford, I drive a Chevy. He's a Mack dealer, I'm a Snap-on dealer. And it's funny because he's the one that actually introduced me to the business. That was, what, 7 or 8 years ago?
So one of the things we got to talk about, too, is how the many gazillion levels of connections you guys have. You can start this story because you have the connection to both cars.
Well, Artis' Nova started out as my Nova way back yonder. Just a beater I drove around after high school. I mean, I thrashed that car. And then the man made it a legend, so,
yeah.
You know, it's great.
Both you guys, like, you've been hanging out at the street races, and you do race cars that, in many ways, kind of evolved off the streets. You know, like XT75 and this type of stuff really is an evolution of the kind of the street racing culture. So talk about that in your own deal, like coming off the street kind of over the course of time.
Man, that's funny. You know, when I first started heads-up racing, it was actually in this car, and I can drive it anywhere. It was a 9-second car back then. The first heads-up race I did, it was a regular radial tire. I was street racing the night before. We finished about 3 in the morning. We drove to the track, slept at the gate, went in, and I won my first race. So I'm like, hey, this heads-up stuff's pretty cool. It's easy.
This is easy.
And I just won money, and the cops didn't chase me. Dude, what's up?
Yeah.
I don't have to wait all night to get one race off. I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I need to be, and you know, kind of turning into an adult and trying to be responsible.
Yeah, you're failing at it mostly, but this is one part you're getting it right.
Oh, dude, there's no doubt about failing, my friend.
What about you, Artis?
I had this dream to go 9 seconds. And I built this car thinking I would go 9 seconds, and it wound up coming out running like 870s the first time I took it out. So I kind of was beyond where I planned on being.
Needle was planted in your arm.
Yeah, man, it's still, you don't see it hanging out, it's still stuck.
Now let's talk about what's going to happen today. A little side-by-side racing. You guys obviously got good personalities, and there's egos involved, man. You know, you've known each other forever, but you don't want to give the guy an inch. So your car is going to be a little bit different than you're used to today. You pulled a bunch of weight out and changed the tire, right?
Yeah, I normally run on a 26 8.5-inch tire, which is just, it's smaller than the front tire on the car. So I'm like the idiot. I'm the rodeo clown of drag racing. So I actually took, you know, 300-400 pounds out of the car and put it on this big giant 28 tire.
Oh yeah, the huge 28.
I swear it's like a pro mod now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to do. I'm just gonna get up, stick it in the beams, and let it rip.
What about you, Artis?
I love Worm, but you know, he gonna have to understand when I run about his life, certain things are just supposed to happen that way, you know what I mean?
Is that what nitrous cars do? Do they run away from turbo cars?
I mean,
I don't know, I'm just asking for a friend.
it's a lot of misperceptions out there. Everybody say, oh, you're so stupid, go turbo, go nitrous. Well, I wanna do it the easy way. I got leaf springs on my car. I got an old school, let's do this the hard way. I grew up in Compton, let's figure out how we gonna make this work and make it be what it is.
Wait a second, I grew up in Compton.
Well, but what did you do? Yell in Compton, but you moved to Torrance, baby.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I mean, maybe someday I'll be like you, but right now, I'm at the house, baby. I'm still repping the CPT.
Well, you know what?
This could literally go on all day. We need to get the cars fired up and on the racetrack, and if you think this is entertaining, wait till you see these guys leave the starting line. All right, so here's the setup for round one. You'll notice that the sun has changed positions. That's because it's been a couple hours since we talked to the guys. Believe it or not, when Worm went back to get the car ready for this first round, they had an electrical problem with the boost controller in the car. They went back and figured out how to get that fixed. They made the right changes in their race pack parameters. Now they're ready to go. Artis had no problems at all. They went back, just did their normal service, got ready to go for round one. You're gonna hear that booming exhaust note out of the nitrous big block. It's open headers, it's that big high compression engine with all that nitrous heading through it, and a much more muffled noise coming out of the small block with a single turbo on it for Worm. 8th mile finish line, so we're gonna go 660 feet here. The racetrack is incredibly good. These guys have been up here taking stock of things, and they claim it's the best racetrack either of them have seen on the West Coast for this style of racing in at least 2 years, so they should be able to really hit it hard. See if we get some wheel stand action going.